It is my immense pleasure, and not just great, to introduce you Dominique. Bollinger? Bollinger?
Bollinger for the French, Bollinger for the French one, Bollinger for the Swiss one, and Bollinger for the English one.
Okay, great. And please.
Okay. Okay, so thank you. Hi, huge crowd. Okay, I'm presenting here a project of a mobile game, an app, as said, and I'm not a developer, and I'm more a customer presenting what I asked to a student who did his internship and then his diploma work for me. So please don't ask too many technical questions I cannot answer it anyway. So Bollinger that you see here could not be here today, so he apologized. Is the real one who did the work. So what was the idea and basic premises of doing a game for environmental issues? So the idea is like, okay, we're in critical state of our planet. It's been like more than 30 years I'm trying to explain this to people. Not big success on this. But then when you explain this to people, they say, okay, I don't know what to do. They are lost. And so it leads usually to anxiety or immobilism or denial sometimes. And so nothing changes. And so the idea to me was to help people identify the things or the actions they could do that makes sense. But not only as individuals, but also as citizens or as part of companies or maybe heads of companies, whatever. And the idea is that since it's serious and it's anxiety-provoking issues, to make it fun and not just like making them feel guilty and then, oh, I have to change because else I'll be guilty of the doom of the world. So also show the positive effects of these actions, of what these actions could have. So that was really the basic idea I had. And so I asked him, I made I don't know how you say, cahier des charges in English? Like a task list, specifications for an internship work. And we had Bollinger that came, and he did this this is a, let's say, working prototype, but not functional, but that was the aim of the project, called EcoGestes, or you can call EcoGestes, an app. It's saying, okay, I have like challenges, and I can see what I can do. I can have small actions with big impact, maybe as an individual, but as a community, and some rewards at stake also. My benefits, what should they be? So it's not reward that the game gives, but the rewards that I gain by doing things. And this is, we worked with a design thinking approach to make the concept, and we guide consumers aged 18-30 in Switzerland to adopt eco-responsible behaviors in a fun way. So the work done was, as I said, an internship with the first prototype that you see, functional prototype, the architecture of it, and it was on PC to see if it worked, and then test it also with some users or players. And then in summer 2020, a diploma work, a second prototype that worked, and I still have the icon on my old Samsung A3 phone, but the little problem is that now the code is a bit obsolete due to the Android updates. Anyway, that's a diploma work, but we'll see what we can do. It was playable. So the architecture was pretty simple, and I will not make a theoretical speech about this, but like an API, APK server, and the use case that you see here, and I really like the work in the use case to make them as realistic as possible with people that may not be convinced that we should do something, but maybe they are thrilled to game with each other. So let's play, and since I cannot play on this one, I will play here as if. So launching the application. I like the little icon he made, find it cute. So of course the login info. So it's working. I mean, it was working. So the code is existing, etc. It works. Or you can subscribe, of course. And then you had the main menu. On the main menu, you had the list of the challenges. You had access to a personal score. So how good am I doing? You had a ranking to make a little bit competitive. And you had also community results, to me, which was really important to see how much all these individuals put together make an effect. Of course, account setup and general information about this. Let's go into this then. So you could choose on different categories of challenges, which were technological, educational, consumptions, etc., etc., and choose the challenges. And for example, sorting or filtering the challenges in between all of them, or the one I did not do that I can still subscribe for, or the one that are ongoing, or the one that are terminated. Of course, I will have the points when it's terminated. Let's select a challenge. For example, here in water sparing issues, and you know this one. If you don't have it at home, buy it. It's not a big effort. And this is an example that shows what it is, a little picture, a little explanation, and you see, I have there, yeah, great, technology will save us. And you have here the scores. So of course it's just fake values, whatever. But you see that I do not have one score, but I have 4 different ones. One for the climate change, one for the ecosystem impact, one for the resources, and one for the water take or use. And this is really like what you see in life cycle analysis and what we use as indicators of environmental impacts. And you cannot put this in one single score. And you hear all the time climate change, CO2, CO2, CO2. That's just 15% of what we are heading to in environmental issues. So that was a choice to see 4 different scores and see like a chart of it, let's say. So let's start it. You can start it and say, okay, I started. And when I finished it, I can just say it's finished and it gives me the scores. And of course, I can then return to the back menu and look at my scores. And you see that the scores, it's not just one score, but it will be with the different indicators and explaining what it is and what impact it does, always based on life cycle analysis, of course. Then I can see my ranking. Oops, sorry, I was a little bit too quick. Yeah, the ranking in between the different players. And so I can see that maybe Stefan is doing better than me, and I'm just like, what? I am the teacher in environmental engineering. How can you do better than me? So let's do some challenges. Okay, so that's to make it a little bit fun about this. And then the community with the results, and the results with a little bit more details on the different, let's say, the different indicators. And let me check, it's too small. Okay, and you have different values that can help you put yourself into comparison with it. So the total contribution of the community, and the community is everybody that plays the game. So that could be nice to spread. And my contribution compared to the others or the community. Of course, the account settings, pretty basic, and general information, which is in this case a flyer or whatever, of saying, okay, why are we using this, etc., etc. So, in conclusion then, we have, or we had, even though it exists, some minor code review needed, an existing and tested prototype. We tested it with some players to see if it works, if they found it good. Of course, they said, oh, that would be better to have more challenges. Okay, that's a demo. We had like 10 challenges. But we can also have individuals challenges, but also citizen ones, or like company-wide ones. For example, we can also imagine that we have a shared account of a company where everybody in the company can say, oh, I did this and that and that. And so it showed interesting, fun and helpful elements. The potential and usefulness of the game for both people as individuals that change themselves and, let's say, the planet as a common change of the behaviors. And it really helped people who said, I don't know what to do. I said, okay, I can do this, it's easy, let's do it, gain some points, and that's not a big change. And the community also to see, oh, maybe there are bigger challenges that do not involve myself as an individual, but maybe we have to do it together. And that gave ideas of ways to follow, a path to follow. And it's based on sustainability expertise because it's on real values behind environmental impacts. So perspectives and needs. So I'm just here because of asking who's interested for reviewing the code for the current Android version, or maybe remove the glitch in the code that worked with the 3 years, 4 years ago version and not anymore here. So, okay, takes some time, but it's completely documented and the code is available. Maybe developing and releasing a public version. I don't want to make money about this because that's not my aim, but if this app exists and works and is fun, then it's cool, and I'm happy. For this, consolidating the business model of saying, okay, how can we finance this? Is there something that we can gain as a business model? And then helping find people interested in supporting and managing this app development or supporting as financing, etc. So these are open questions, and thank you for attention and maybe your investment.
Thank you so much, Dominique. So maybe there's a couple of questions. Yeah, we do have 1 minute. No questions? No questions? Yes. Great.
Merci beaucoup pour cette présentation. Just wondered, I can't review your code because I'm not coding. However, I could maybe discuss with you of options of making it non-digital. I don't know. Have you considered making it easier for a card game or something?
Yeah.
So of course, with the ranking thing, it's a bit more difficult. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. Whether you consider other low technology.
Yeah. So that's a very good question. But in fact, Bollinger was a student in informatics, and coding. So the aim of his work, of course, was to work, but also work on mobile apps. I choose this, and I'm pretty happy with it. With the, let's say, contradictional aspects of talking about the environment using mobile phones. But as my Caribbean friends said, we have to laugh with the wolves. And it's just to say, okay, this exists within people, especially young ones, and so let's try to use this media to make them change and make it fun. But of course, the card play or the, let's say, table play could really be done, since, as you've seen, maybe I can show you this back again, the challenges, they look like cards, and you can just release the cards. But then the network and community results will be maybe more difficult to have, but you can imagine, for example, in the university or I don't know, you're in Geneva, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever. But in an institution or a company, we can say, okay, let's all play with the card games and record the scores, and then see the score of the overall entity, institutions, or company. Of course, that's completely feasible since we have the challenges and kind of the rules, let's say.
Thank you so much, Dominique. And it is also my great pleasure to invite Dominique also, but Dominique Jacquard this time, for a
Salut, Dominique.
session.